What's up, everybody, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of Girl You Know What. And I'm going to just go right on into it and just say, as you said, towards the end of Season 1, who do we think we are with seasons, girl? I was cracking up at that when I was listening to some of the episodes back, and I was like, girl, you know how it works.
Hey, when you started talking, I was like, oh shit, what's she about to say?
You never know what's going to come out of this mouth, girl. You never know.
Scared. I was like, oh Lord, what happened already?
Well, it's been a lot, but we're going to try, be more lighthearted this episode. We're just going to, we're just going to chop it up. Yes. We're not going to try to keep y'all too long or whatever. So we're just going to, get right into it. But first, let's just talk about what we've been doing in our little hiatus, our little mid-season break, or in-between season break, I should say. So what you been up to?
Sleeping.
Yes, ma'am.
I've been asleep.
Yeah. Get that rest.
I needed a break. I needed a break for real.
Yeah.
I think, because I'm going to be honest, I lack consistency in my life.
Oh, me too. Yeah, me too.
I lack being consistent. And it's a very serious problem I have. So we were consistent with this podcast. And I think that much consistency deserved a little break.
Yeah.
And sometimes I do this, and I don't know if other people do it when you lack consistency. We kind of like, I shouldn't even do it, or like, I should just, maybe we shouldn't do it again, or maybe I should just give up. It comes to a point where you kind of,
like you were doing too good.
Doubt.
Yeah.
Maybe you start to talk down to yourself, and then you get to a point where you never restart.
Yeah.
But this podcast gave me great consistency. Good. And so the break gave me rest, gave me a little time to focus on some other things. And so, but I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, definitely. It felt kind of weird not doing it.
It gives a level of consistency. Like, we'll be consistent again. So I like it.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Because it felt kind of weird. I'm not going to lie. Especially that first Saturday where, because we normally record on Saturday or Sunday if something comes up on Saturday. Right. So it was just like that first weekend, I was just like, I was all getting prepared and everything. Like, I got to record. And I was just like, no. I was like, I got a few weeks off.
Last weekend I was panicked. I remember I was like, oh, do we record this week? I was so unprepared. Yeah. Oh God.
Well, but that's the beauty of, doing a podcast, especially like this, is that, now certain topics, we should be prepared, talk about certain things, but, that's the thing. It's just like,
we missed a lot of fuckery.
Oh my gosh.
It's a lot of it. Y'all still crazy, huh? It don't go away.
It don't go away. The crazy does not stop. The crazy train just keeps on going. It does not stop. I mean, it's been a lot.
Like, what the heck?
I mean, and it's just like, I listen to other podcasts and, watch a lot of YouTube commentators and stuff like that. And, they always talk about when they take time off, and they're just like, it seems like when I take time off, a lot of shit happens, but it's just like stuff is always happening, right. So, but it just feels like it's constant. It's, oh my gosh. So
I will say that I did listen to a couple of podcasts, and this is not 1 ounce of shade, but, and I sent some of them to you.
Yeah.
Listening to other podcasts, I felt like, oh, so we sound okay then.
I told you, like, girl, when I first started doing this, I was just like, oh my gosh, do I need to be in the studio? Do I need to, just to sound good and everything like that? And then I started getting more into podcasts and listening to, people who do it like we do independently. They're not in the studio. Right. They're not, under a big production company, nothing like that. And I was just like, oh, I could do this. This ain't no thing. So, but that's the good thing about it. It's just like, it's authentic. It's yourself. Right. I think that's what a lot of people relate to when it comes to doing stuff like this. It just feels like you're just like, there were a couple people who, like like commented or said stuff, and they said they feel like they're in the conversation with us too, and that's what we
Oh
wanted.
yeah, we appreciate y'all.
Definitely. Oh my goodness, that just makes us feel so good. Yeah, that's what we wanted though. We wanted it to be
Right.
like, just like you're just on the phone with your girlfriend, just hanging out,
Right.
whatever. So yeah,
And we wanted to be ourselves.
mm-hmm,
And I myself, I love Jesus, and I say a lot of curse words.
mm-hmm.
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
But I
I notice
mean,
it in my conversation sometimes when I can say the F word, I say, it's freaking crazy.
well, I mean that's progress right there,
I'm
girl.
trying to progress,
That's right there. Yes, ma'am.
listen, this is going to sound crazy. So like my church, I love y'all. I ain't gonna say what church I go to because I know they might not want to be associated with these curse words that come out of my mouth.
Right.
But we have like a prayer call Monday through Friday every morning, 6:30 in the morning. We get up and we all get on a prayer call. And just pray for like 15 minutes. And we all know I pray for people like
yes, you
drop
do.
of a hat. I don't care.
Right.
And I was like, oh, one day they're gonna let me pray. And I was like, maybe they won't because I might cuss too much. Not like cuss during the prayer.
Right.
Like, maybe they're looking for like a certain person, a certain type of person to let pray. And I might not make the cut.
Right. They might be like, wait a minute, she might slip up and say a couple things,
No,
call somebody the B
I
word.
don't curse in my prayers, church,
right.
just in case y'all listening. I don't curse in my prayers, but
right.
It's like, oh yeah, I probably ain't gonna get that call.
Okay, but listen,
they're gonna be like, no, your social media presence has led us to believe that you may not be prepared for what we're looking for on the prayer team. Like,
right. Listen.
So, one of those things.
Be like, dang, I gotta get my life together.
About that, like, maybe I need to kind of like try God. Should I just try to stop cursing?
It's hard though.
These motherfuckers be pushing.
Listen, it is really hard. It really is.
I get it, honest. Now my granny don't cuss. But if you try her, she do get quiet. And I was like, oh, this is where I get this from.
Right.
I get this from you. Because my mother's more hysterical.
Yeah.
My grandmother's more like, am I going to punch you in the face?
Basically.
Like, she's thinking about it. She getting ready to hit you.
Yeah. So when she gets quiet, you just know just to be like, oh, let me just sit on back here. And just
hey, she got quiet one day with me. We were talking about something. I was trying to explain something to her, and she didn't quite understand what I was saying. And I was explaining it to her. Then she got quiet. I said, what you getting quiet for?
Right, getting all nervous. Like, wait a minute, like, what'd I do? Like, what?
I said, now what you want to say? And then she just busted out laughing because she already knew. I know you. Why you quiet like you finna say something else?
Exactly. And it's probably not going. It's probably going to be something real shady too. You already know how she gets. Yeah,
I knew it was. That's why I called her on it.
Yeah.
Like, what you want to say? Why you getting quiet?
Exactly. Oh,
but I got it honest.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing?
Girl, let's see. I actually, I accomplished some things, I finally think I figured out how to put a landing page on my website. I know we were talking about doing that to our website so where we can.
God, tell me when you figure it out.
Girl, I think I got it together. Go to my website.
So you mean landing page like it's the front page being the same, like
landing page.
God, please tell me
page.
when you figure it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you. We might have to get online together so I can show you. We might have to do that one day.
I'll give you my password. You can log in. I don't even want to do it. I want somebody else to do it and just tell me how much I gotta pay you.
I don't blame you. I do not blame you on that. But I think I figured it out. It looks pretty good. Now there's some pictures I want to change on it, but it like for me doing it as an amateur who doesn't know anything about coding or nothing like that. It was just a drag and drop. So the plugin that I used, it was very simple. Okay. So so I did that. So I did.
So it's a plugin.
Yeah, it's a plugin. Yeah, from
Jesus
yeah.
I'm so sick of plugins.
I know. I got so many of them, and I need to go through them to see like which ones I'm not using. I know.
So are you paying for those?
No, these are free. Yeah, these are free through WordPress.
Yeah, help me because I feel like all the plugins you have to pay for them.
No, no. If you go through WordPress, there are tons of free plugins that work. Now they do try to have you, well, not try to have you, but they do recommend that you use the pro version and things like that. But I don't need all that, not until I start making a lot of money on my website, then I'll get into all that. But if I'm just
I'm
doing,
sorry, people, because I'm going to ask her one more question that does not pertain to.
go ahead.
Okay, so look, because other people out there might want to know this too.
Yeah.
So so the one that I'm thinking about buying, or the pop up, like when somebody comes to your website and the pop up to tell them, would you like to subscribe? Do you pay for that one?
No.
But that's like Mailchimp, right?
Yeah. And I have that plugin, but I never used it. I never set it up because I just use my Gmail. I have 2 different Gmail addresses that I use for, like if somebody wants to reach out to me or something like that. So I don't use those. So I don't even know anything about that,
Okay.
Yeah. So I
was thinking about getting Mailchimp. I think it's like $1. I don't know how much it is.
And I mean, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. And I have the download. I have the plugin on my in my WordPress stuff, but I just never have looked into it. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We need to have a meet and greet about that.
Yeah. Come on, meet and greet.
Because I don't know when I'm the older, and it's crazy to think that Miss Jenkins poured all that knowledge into us.
Listen.
About computers, and I was good at it.
Yeah,
and now I just feel like, ugh.
But you know what? When I can speak for myself. When I got to college, I didn't even though my major was management information systems, so I did take a couple computer classes, and I wish I would have taken more. But it was mainly focused on I mainly focused on.
You
business.
majored in MIS?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So but back then for us it wasn't as technical because they didn't have all that stuff. I mean, we started in the never mind.
No, the computer science majors were really that's when it was technical.
Yeah, they focused mainly on them, and then
programming and stuff.
Yeah, then CIS came, computer information systems, which kind of veered away from all that stuff, but it was still more technical. But it had some business, but then they came with MIS, which is what I majored in, and it was mainly a balance of both, business and yeah. So, but that was a different time. But other than that, other than working on my website, I also have started organizing my book that I want to write. My first one.
That is a sign from God.
Girl, listen, I finally just focused on it. And I was just like, okay, let me get the stuff, at least just written out, what I want it to be and, what I'm aiming for.
I have at least 2 outlines. I'm just, y'all.
It's hard, girl. Starting a book is hard. It really is hard. I don't see how people can just go directly into it. And I love to write.
My outline, and I have really started. Remember, we had that whole conversation about writing a book about dating online. I've started it. I've started a book about my life, but as I stated at the beginning of this program, I lack consistency.
Girl, listen, I've been working on this book for maybe 4 or 5 years. Just this one. I have 3 or 4 ideas of books that I want to do, but this is the first one I want to put out. And it's just I mean, like you said, consistency. I start
is
on something else.
Is it going to be an ebook or you want a paperback book?
I want to do both.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to do both. Definitely, yeah. So, it just depends, maybe when I get more into it and get into the publishing, whoever I decide to go through, if I decide to do it independently or through Amazon or whatever, we'll see when I get to that. But I would like to have both. I would like to have paper.
We need to have a business meeting.
Oh yeah.
Because I have more questions, but I know people are going to be like, bitch.
Right. We ain't tune in for that shit.
Yeah, we need a business meeting today.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But but yeah, I mean that's really about. Oh, I haven't recorded them obviously, but I do have my next at least 3 episodes of my true crime podcast. I have them started the outline for them. I know which ones I'm doing. It was just when we took a break, I was doing work, but I didn't put anything out.
Right. Well, because that was the purpose.
Right.
The purpose was not necessarily for us to break I don't think, and pour ourselves into something else. It
Mm-hmm.
was to break,
Yeah, exactly.
because we were already working at a consistent speed on other things while we
Yeah.
were doing the podcast.
Right. It was, yeah, we were doing a lot. People
It
don't
was a
realize.
literal, it's time to take a break.
Yeah, and that was just from pretty much
Oh, I think I
everything.
have an idea for you for a true crime podcast too.
Oh, let me
So
know. Let me.
remind me of that when we get off too.
Okay. Yeah, let me know.
Yes.
But yeah,
So
that's
other
really
than that, I mean,
yeah.
let's talk about how y'all been acting crazy.
I
You
mean,
want to talk about?
let's just start right there. So, I mean, where do we begin? I mean, well,
Let's begin at the obvious though.
mhm.
The obvious being, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this, but here I am every
Yeah,
day,
it
Lord,
is what
getting
it
flack.
is, let's go.
Let's just begin with the obvious. We want to say, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels.
Yes, definitely,
You
yes.
know, I don't believe in speaking ill of the dead.
Right.
Obviously, some of you were raised by
Yeah, I
wolves.
mean, let's start right there.
It's not my place to judge, but
That's why I haven't said anything pretty
I
much.
just don't believe in, as we all know, I'm a believer in giving grace,
Mhm.
you know, giving mercy, grace, just giving people, and when they die, my God,
Mhm.
let them die in peace.
Right, right.
We all living through torment and hell on earth.
Mhm.
The least we can do is let people rest in peace.
Yeah.
The least that we can do.
I mean, Pat Houston, we're speaking to you, but let's just go. Let's just keep on
Danielle,
going.
like, she got her foot on Pat Houston's neck. This period.
Listen, especially from what I just sidebar real quick. I'm sorry, no disrespect to Kevin Samuels and his family, but did you hear that she's doing another movie about Whitney Houston?
Oh my God, Pat, what do you want? It's like getting blood from a turnip. We know everything.
I'm so
We've seen
fucking done
everything.
with I
There's
can't
nothing
stand
more
her.
you can tell us, Pat.
That's it. Quit making money off this woman.
Like, what is it that you want? Like, I don't get
Oh,
it. Like, what is her goal?
my size 10 is going to permanently stay on her neck and rub up against her non-existent edges for the rest of her life or mine until she stops.
It's shameful at this point. Like,
It is.
let Whitney be.
Let her. We know everything. Damn.
And this is the thing, though, too. To know what Whitney went through,
Mm-hmm.
to hear her talk about, to hear, because I saw Whitney, can I be me?
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the documentary of her, her life. They compiled
Right.
all the videos.
Mm-hmm.
And so is it Dionne Warwick's sister?
It was her sister. Yeah.
To know that she suffered, sexual abuse,
Mm-hmm.
to know how long she had been using drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Um, y'all, just that's enough.
Yeah. I mean,
We don't need to. Nobody needs to profit off of somebody's pain and their existence that much.
I mean, she's been gone for 10 years. I mean, I would say definitely at least by the 10th year, let them rest. I mean, they should rest
Yeah,
from day one, but
but
anyway,
that's enough.
I just heard that the other day when I was just scrolling through stuff and I was like, no, she's
Yeah,
not.
yeah, like that's ridiculous. But yeah, Kevin Samuels, he immediately when I heard how he left the earth,
Mhm.
or let me say this, what he was doing.
I mean that part and who he was doing
I
it with, but
Y'all gotta be careful with them Viagra pills. Okay,
listen.
that's why doctors won't prescribe them to you if you have a heart condition. If
Mhm.
they think your heart is weak,
Mhm.
if you're not in good health, that's why they don't want to give them to you.
Right.
And how can I say this as PG as possible? It increases the blood flow
Mhm.
to a particular organ.
Right.
But it also has to increase the blood flow there.
Mhm.
It has to increase the blood flow through your body.
Exactly, just like any other medicine.
So y'all better be careful.
That's it.
That's why they don't want you to fool with it with something wrong with your heart.
Exactly.
I want y'all to understand the basics of all drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Same goes for the pills that y'all take.
Right.
You know, the fentanyls, the oxys, the perks. Like the same goes for those.
Mm-hmm.
Those pills are downers.
Yeah.
Downers slow everything down.
Mm-hmm.
That is why you see advertisements for what they call opioid induced constipation, because when you take those fentanyls, perks, all those downers, it also slows your bowels down. It
Mm-hmm.
slows the organs down inside of you. Like it slows everything down.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they be so constipated.
Right.
And I know that might sound, I'm sorry if
But
it
I
sounds
mean,
inappropriate,
but that's
but
what happens. And if you
that's
take
that's what it's
medications,
doing.
yeah.
And that's why you see so many quote unquote accidental overdoses.
Mm-hmm.
Because you didn't really intend to kill yourself.
Right.
But you took so many pills. And again, it's a downer.
Mm-hmm.
It slows down your breathing.
Right.
It slows down your heart rate. It slows down the functions of or it slows everything down.
Mm-hmm.
And it slows it down until you can't breathe.
Right.
And on top of you probably were drinking.
Yep. Oh, he was partying with that chick.
Alcohol
yeah, they were
is
partying.
a downer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you guys, not saying that he was taking the perks. I'm just saying, I wish, we all had just like a basic understanding of how pills work.
Yeah.
Same goes for the food that we eat.
Mm-hmm. Just watch what you're putting
we all
in your
know
body.
that I'm very open. I don't have the best diet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll take it back. I do now. I did not before.
Mm-hmm.
But it also came with like a basic understanding of like reading what's in what you're eating.
Right.
Yeah,
you got to know what you're putting in your body. That's the thing.
When we were kids, we didn't know any better.
No, you just eating and
ramen coming home from school.
Mm-hmm. Eating sugar-filled cereal and everything.
Drinking pop.
Yeah.
We didn't know.
Mm-mm.
We heard them say, "Oh, just don't drink too many."
Mm-hmm.
But nobody really took the time to talk about reading the ingredients.
Right.
Now you old and you be like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that.
And truth be told, as time has gone on, they've changed like what they put in food. So, things that even may not have been the greatest for us back when we were kids, now it's even worse because they're putting like all these dang generic crap and stuff in it. But yeah, that we could do a whole nother episode on just diet alone, but in food.
Mm-hmm.
But
we are going to do an episode on taking back your health. So
yes, definitely.
That we can talk about, just listen. I'm telling you the truth. I ain't had no milk in 7 years.
Only time I started drinking milk again was when I started making my own protein shakes, and I can't do lactose anymore. So I get like the lactose free, or I drink almond milk or something like that, which I'm not really. It's like ever since my last surgery, stuff tastes different to me. So it's like I can taste the almond milk now, you know what I'm saying? Like before it was just like, oh, it didn't bother me, especially if it was mixed in with something. But yeah, I feel you on the milk. It was like before then it was like I could not drink regular milk. I couldn't do it.
It was a logical thing that made me stop drinking milk too. Like it wasn't really, I didn't have a bad experience. It was just simply someone said something that made all the sense in the world that I had never thought about before. Like, we're the only mammal that drinks another mammal's milk.
Right. I mean,
they were like, you don't see pigs drinking zebra milk.
No.
You don't see cows drinking elephant milk.
That's
why I think it was a doctor. He said once your mother has breastfed you or whatever milk your mother gave you at the time of your birth, after you stopped, you've had all the milk you need. And I was like, wait a minute. Wait 1 second. And I really had to think about that.
Right.
And then it just, and as bad as sometimes I'll be like, dang. And on top of me not having had milk for 7 years, I haven't had any cereal.
See, I eat dry cereal now. It sounds, I know some people are like, really? But yeah, like, I mean, I still got to have my cereal every now and then, but I eat it dry. I don't even put my milk, like the only time I have any kind of milk product is when, when I have my when I make my own protein shakes. That's it.
Hmm.
It's but it's you
Yeah,
gotta.
I've had a hard time. I've even bought lactate, like the milk with the
That's what I
lactose
usually
milk or
get.
whatever.
Yeah.
I can't. I have bought it. It
Mm-hmm.
has sat in there.
Mm-hmm.
It will go bad.
Yeah.
I have bought a brand new box of Captain Crunch at least twice,
Mm-hmm.
and told myself and bought the milk and told myself, "Oh, I'm going to eat a bowl of cereal." Never works
Didn't
out.
touch it. Yeah.
It just never works out.
Yeah, and sometimes once you get something out of your diet, you just, that's it.
Hmm.
You know what I
Yeah, like
mean? So,
I cannot bring myself to do it. I
mm-hmm.
don't know why. Like I said, I didn't throw up, and people
Mm-hmm.
who know me, who hear this, are gonna think it's crazy because I would drink milk
Yeah.
like when we're eating dinner,
Mm-hmm.
put some ice in a glass and pour
Oh, I would
myself
do
a
that
glass
back in the
of milk.
day. Yeah, I would do that. Yeah.
Like that was like a combination I loved.
Mm.
Milk with ice in it.
Mm-hmm.
And like if we ever made like lasagna or something
Uh-huh.
and a glass of milk, oh, I loved it. Now I can't bring myself to touch it.
Yeah.
I still cook with it, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like when I make cornbread, the recipe calls for milk. I'll put the
Right.
milk in there, but
But just
I
having it
just
by
like do not.
itself. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
no, I
yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah, that's why I always tell people like you got to watch what you put in your body and it just,
Hmm.
through anything, like anything you inject in your body that could be orally or whatever, you have to watch what you put in your body.
Yeah,
Girl.
yeah.
But let's see. Okay. So, this is something I was going to talk about. I was going to do a YouTube video and I still haven't got my YouTube stuff together, but I'm going to get it
Hmm.
together anyway. But anyway, I was going to do a YouTube video talking about these trash bags. I cannot, the Kardashians.
I do. Why did I know that she was about to say? I thought she was about to talk about them in Black China.
No, I thought about it earlier, but then the Ray J thing came out,
Oh yeah,
and it's just like, I think we all pretty much knew that they were working together and that this was mainly a Kris Jenner, Kim
yeah,
Kardashian thing, and Ray
yeah.
J was just reaping the benefits. I
Hmm.
pretty much figured that, but for them to keep it going, and I truly believe Ray J. Now, Ray J's a
Oh
lot,
yeah, I do.
but I don't think that he's a liar. I don't see him,
Hmm.
like I've never seen, heard of him, lying
I do
about
believe
anything.
he's telling the truth, and
I completely do
this
because
is
it
gonna
makes
sound so
sense.
far fetched, Danielle. Like
Mm-hmm.
I already know,
Uh-huh.
but I just want people to pay attention. Like sometimes don't just take things for face value. Like step outside the box
Mm-hmm.
and kind of pay attention.
You have
I
to.
want you to look at the men around them
Yes.
and how they paint this picture of
Mm-hmm.
crazy. The picture that's painted of these men is a picture that they painted.
Yep.
It's a narrative that they created.
Mm-hmm.
And if they created it on the outside to the public, I'm sure that there was some creating the narrative inside first.
Oh yeah.
Like the things that have taken place with Kanye West, I know that people do not agree with him,
Mm-hmm.
even with Ray J.
Mm-hmm.
Ray J was now a lot of you don't know Ray J before the Kardashians,
Right.
but Ray J was just Brandy's little brother. He was a
Mm-hmm.
sweet little boy
Yeah.
who
He
hung with his
he
sister.
had a couple songs, he did a few roles, and yeah,
Yes,
so he had a little bit of a career, but everybody knew him as
as
Brandy's
Brandy's
brother.
little brother,
Right.
and he hooked up with Kim Kardashian, and because she does what white women,
Mm-hmm.
do, what they do is that they cry and play the victim. Because she cried and she played the victim, it looked like Ray J was the culprit.
All along.
But I want to make sure that we all remembering this correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
When the whole thing happened with the tape, Chris, so somebody, some let's say back then there were, this is back in VHS. So
Mm-hmm.
let's say that there was some company who was producing the tape.
Right.
Chris cut some kind of deal
Mm-hmm. She
with
did.
that company
Yep.
that didn't they get a percentage
Yeah.
of. So let's
Mm-hmm.
really think about this. That's knowledge. We knew that.
Yeah.
That was public
They talked
knowledge.
about it on their show.
That she brokered a deal with the people who were selling the tape to get a profit.
Mm-hmm.
If you really cared about your daughter's dignity and respect, and
Mm-hmm.
if Ray J was this, why then did you profit from her being degraded?
Right. But let's back up a little bit though with that same point. Ray J even said in his statement that he never had possession of the tapes. She did. She had the tapes, and he said, yes, there is more than one tape. So that BS about Kanye coming to Ray J's house and, you know, taking the computer away and everything like that, and, you know, all this stuff, you know, like there were more tapes out there that Ray J had. Ray J said he never had possession of the tapes. Kim did. So how did the tapes get into possession of this company that, you know, ended up distributing
And then
them?
to fake that big gesture,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, Kanye sent you this
Mm-hmm.
hard drive from 1958.
I mean,
Oh my God.
it's just,
That's why I don't watch it.
yeah.
I should have knew when they were saying, "Oh, the show is ending,"
Mm-hmm.
that the show really wasn't ending.
Oh no, because that's, you know, they're going to
All
keep
they
trying
did
to
was
make.
move to Hulu.
Yeah, because they know good and well, regardless of this empire that they've built, if they go away for a little bit,
They don't have money from anywhere
no,
else.
nope.
This is where their bread and butter. They don't
Right.
have anything else.
Right, because they're not as popular as they were, of course, because we've had a lot of other
No,
trash and
because
things
now
come
you've
out.
looked too far behind the look. You've looked behind the curtain too far.
Right. So it's just like, you know, people are tired of them, but because of the drama that they bring, they're still going to, you know.
They probably just really wanted to sever their relationship with Ryan.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I
That's
could
really
see
what
that.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Like I said, I haven't seen this new show.
Me either.
I haven't seen any credits. I don't know who the executive producer is.
Right.
I don't know, but they probably wanted to just cut ties with E.
Yeah, and I could see that. I mean, that was a long relationship, you know, and E has changed, you know, so.
And they might have lost a little creative control in the longevity of the relationship.
Yeah.
And they wanted to, like, you know, Chris wanted them. I'm sure Chris wanted more creative control.
Oh yeah, because it seemed like she had it from the beginning, but then I'm sure as time went on, like a lot of other these quote unquote reality shows do, they get more commercial, and the people behind the scenes, they got writers and they're redoing scenes and things like that. And they've been accused of that. You know, like redoing certain scenes.
They want to control their narrative.
Yeah, yeah, and I respect that. I respect that definitely, because if you're going to do a reality and I will say this, even though I never was a fan of the Kardashians, I did watch their show like the first maybe 3 or 4 seasons. I did watch their show. Too. Yeah, and then after that, I just got tired of them. I was just like, okay, I'm done. But you know,
I was a wholehearted Kardashian fan from the beginning, and I was a true rider for Khloe.
Oh, I used to love Khloe. I'm not gonna lie, because she just went against the grain to me.
A little disrespectful for me towards Chris, but I used to ride for Khloe.
Yeah, because to me she was like the underdog. You know, so it was just like I was always rooting for her, and she was funny. You know, she didn't take no shit. But
this was it. I'm sorry. When she start sleeping with French Montana. Listen, the whole situation, it was a cluster of events.
It was
that turned me away, and they all happened at the same time.
Yeah,
Kim was friends with Black China. Here, Tyga is coming to y'all's house. Your underage sister
Underage.
starts sleeping with Tiger,
Mm-hmm.
sleeping with your friend's man. Nobody says nothing.
Nothing.
Trina, Kelly Rowland, Kim Kardashian, Lala,
Mm-hmm.
Larsa Pippen, all of y'all, Serena Williams,
Mm-hmm.
all y'all homegirls. I
Right.
think I said Sierra's name too. All y'all homegirls. Everybody knew Trina was dating French Montana.
Exactly.
Everybody knew that.
Uh-huh.
All of a sudden, he's sleeping with Khloe.
Right.
Trina, your friend, Kim.
Uh-huh. There's no loyalty.
Nobody said nothing.
Nobody.
Tristan got a whole girl. Tristan was literally on vacation with his girlfriend, and they were celebrating the fact that she was pregnant with their son. 2 weeks later, I bullcrap you not.
Mm-hmm.
He was on vacation with the Kardashians.
Yep.
With Khloe.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't stomach it after that.
And
that was it for me.
And then, a lot of people say that, I mean, they don't obviously have respect for black people anyways. We see how they do the men, and then, then they do the women, bad too. They have built this brand and this, I don't even know what word to use, but basically off the backs of black people, and they've built their love lives and everything like that off the backs of black people, and their beefs have been mainly with black women, and it's just like, it's pathetic. It really is, but they continue to make money. They continue to have this popularity, and it's just like they continue to build brands and sell things, and
it's a sad, I mean, you can turn, I guess it's just like being in a bad relationship. I mean,
yeah.
How many times do you look away?
Right. Yeah.
What's the number?
Mm-hmm.
How many times do you just say like, "Oh, it's okay"?
Right. Yeah. Just
and
like
again,
nothing happened.
Like I said, I don't want to bash. I ain't gonna bash her. But it just became not my cup of tea.
Right.
It just became not something I wanted to participate in. That's the level that I wish we all would grow to on social media.
Mm-hmm.
When things are not for us, or things are not, where we don't have to like be so freaking aggressive.
Right. And like you said, not for us, especially when it ain't got nothing to do with you. I mean,
right.
I mean, that part.
And we got a few minutes, but look, the last thing I want to bring up, because I don't think we were here. The black boy that got murdered by the white girl.
Oh.
And she said it was self-defense.
Girl.
And he was on his Twitter calling black women everything but a child of God.
Yeah.
And his black mama
and brother,
black brother, want to ask black women to stand up for him and tell us that this is not the time.
Girl.
That this isn't the time for us to really like basically hold him accountable for his words.
Exactly, that he obviously meant.
And I did say, I don't speak ill of the dead. I don't believe in that. I pray that he rests in peace.
That's it. That's why I never said anything about it. That's why when people would post about it, or, somebody would copy me and what he said, or tag me in what he said or whatever, I'd be like, this ain't my issue.
Like that black lady said, white women, this is for y'all. Y'all won. This is all. This is y'all's turn to march.
Exactly.
And scream and yell.
Because he was advocating for y'all, and
because he spent his life putting y'all on a pedestal.
Right.
It's time for y'all to stand up for him.
So I continue to take my black woman ass on and mind my business.
Mind all my business.
All of it. And just like you said, the same thing with Kevin Samuels and whoever else, I may have had issues with who is no longer with us. I'm not going to say anything disrespectful. I'm just going to continue to just move on and may you rest in peace. That's it.
I want to say this too, ladies. You guys should really listen to some of the stuff that Kevin Samuels had to say,
Mm-hmm.
because honestly, I just had this conversation with a man, not my man,
Mm-hmm.
but a male friend of mine
Mm-hmm.
2 days ago. And honestly, the stuff that Kevin Samuels says, the man is out here thinking that they just don't say it out loud.
Listen, I said that a long time. When I first found out who he was and the things he was saying, I was like, oh, he's speaking for his friends. He's speaking for other. He's had these conversations with men.
Absolutely.
So he was
Men
just bold
don't
enough to
tell
say
you.
it. Exactly. They're not going to tell you.
And really, sometimes they are telling you, but
Mm.
women are not paying attention. Women are too busy crying. Why don't you want to be with me? I mean, we've been in this relationship, baby. He's telling you because he don't want to marry you.
Right.
When he don't want to make the commitment to you, he's told you all that you needed to know.
Mm-hmm.
He's told you what your worth is.
Yeah.
He told you.
Mm-hmm.
The real issue is, what are you going to do with the information that you've been given?
Right. Now, let me ask, speaking of, okay, Kevin Sam, what do you think about the women that would call into his show just to intentionally hear these things? Do you think, or hear him speak to them in a certain way? Do you think that they just wanted the attention, or do you think that they really wanted to hear it?
I think there are some people out here who really want to know, am I going in the right direction?
Right.
Now I know, but see, women look at that and sometimes are not able to receive it because we don't agree. Because I'm not going to say I don't agree,
Mm-hmm.
but some women did not agree with what he was saying.
Right.
So then, not only because you don't agree with what he's saying, you bash him. You look at the women who call in for this advice,
Mm-hmm.
and you like, oh, y'all stupid for calling.
Mm-hmm.
But they probably have an understanding that what he's saying is factual.
Right.
They probably know that men really do think this way.
And they wanted to hear it actually from a man.
Yes, they really want to hear a man's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and y'all, listen, the guy who I was talking to, who I told you I had a conversation with a friend of mine,
Yeah.
he really said it. He was like, he's not lying. Women over 35 who have kids or whatever that thing was that Kevin Samuel said, he said it is true. They are disposable women.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is what they're thinking behind closed doors.
Oh, well, listen, I remember, let me see, at work, we were probably about maybe, let me see, we were probably about 30, 31, and I was working with this guy, and he was the same age as us. And he said that same exact thing. And we were just having a conversation like, you know, he wasn't even in a relationship. And, you know, we were in our early 30s or whatever, but he said that his dad told him, and his dad is a well-respected man, you know, in the community and things like that. And, you know, his dad got some rank. You know, people know his dad. So
I know exactly who this is.
And
but go on.
And he told us, he said that, you know, my dad always told me, and he was like, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I see what he's saying. But he said his dad always told him that when a woman hits 35 and if she's not married, then the problem is her. And he said, I don't necessarily agree with that, but he was like, I get what he's saying. So I, in turn to him, said, okay. I said, I know how things work for men, and your dad is obviously over 35, you know, definitely, obviously, because we're in our early 30s. I said, but your dad's not married. So what does that mean about him? What does he say about that? And he just said, it doesn't apply to men. That was all he said. He said, it doesn't apply to men. You know, he was like, so basically a man can be as toxic and everything like that as he wants to be, you know, up until he basically dies.
But you know what I think it is, honestly?
What's that?
And I tell women this all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Men are just trading up.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you'll find a man who's 35 and who's single.
Yeah.
I don't know how toxic he is, but he may just want what he wants.
Exactly.
And he has not found what he wants.
Right.
He's looking for a certain type of woman.
Yeah.
He's looking for something particular.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you'll see men get in relationships with women, date women, and then they'll get out of that relationship. They'll be in that relationship with that girl for 6, 7, 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
They will get in a relationship, and 6 months later, they'll be married to the next woman.
Right. And
because he knew specifically what he was looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And when he found it, he jumped on it.
And let's keep it real. Like, there are people who got their shit together in their 20s, you know, and they know what they want and everything like that. Everyone's not like that. So yeah, there are people who are in their 30s, even 40s, and I've even heard people in their 50s say, now I know what I want.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it just it hits at different times, and that's both men and women.
Right.
You know, so it's just like it hits at different times for everybody. So to have this, but it's like, but I get what people are saying about the 35 mark. I get that, because at that point, a woman's supposed to, if you want kids, you're supposed to have had a couple kids by then. If you want, you know, a career, you're supposed to be into your career by then. If you're, you know, if you want a man, you know, woman, whatever you're into, you're supposed to have all that lined up and know what you want by 35 years old.
I think I'm about to say something. I think we probably gonna have to get off here. If we had a call in line, they would be like going crazy after I said this. But listen, it's not as hard for women to get married as women make it seem like.
It's really not. Let's go ahead.
And I think that's what women. Some women need to sit with that, because that is a true statement that man made. By 35, if you want to get married,
right,
and stop lying to yourself and saying that you don't, because you do. If you want to get married by 35, you will have at least had one husband.
Oh yeah.
At 35, I had one divorce. So I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
It was not hard to find somebody to marry me.
Right.
I won't even say how many proposals I had. But by 35, by 27, I think I was married.
Yeah, I think you did tell me that. Yeah.
I was married at like 27. So it's not hard to find somebody to marry you.
It's not at all.
If you are a woman who is a woman of quality, you know, and now this ain't got nothing to do with me. I've stepped away from me. I'm not tooting my horn. I'm just saying, if you are a woman of quality, a man wants to marry you.
Exactly. Because they want that stability, even if they want to go out and do their own thing too.
And they've seen the value in you. Like, so wait a minute, you telling me you cook, you clean, you educated, and you ain't got no kids? Oh yeah, we get married.
Oh yeah, tomorrow.
And you attractive? What are we doing then? What are we waiting on?
Right.
Yeah, we get married.
Yeah.
Like, that's what men looking for. You don't care. Like, you work, you keep the house, like, you supportive. Like, we don't argue a lot.
Right.
Like, that's what men are looking for. If you're bringing those things to the table, it's not hard for you to find a husband.
Right, because contrary to what people may believe, men want to get married too.
Yeah, I don't know who told that lie.
Yeah, some jilted. Never mind. Shut up, Danielle.
I don't know who told that lie, but men do want to get married.
Exactly.
Because marriage offers men a level of stability as well.
Exactly. Yep.
I know y'all don't want to hear me be all 1950s and domesticated, but look,
some people still think like that.
Come home to a clean house and hot food, they do.
Yep. Especially men our age. I mean, let's keep it real. We grew up at a time when that was still, when a lot of our grandmothers, you know, were still raising our mothers to be that way, and we saw it. Or if we lived in a house with our grandparents like you and I did, you saw that. You know, you saw that old school way, and it worked for them. Not saying that's going to work for you, but a lot of us grew up seeing that, so people still want that.
I would prefer to Oprah and Steb in my relationship to the cows come home.
That's what I'm talking about. Now
I know it ain't gonna work.
Right.
I know he ain't going for that, but I'm
right.
until I can't milk it no more. I'm gonna try.
That's it.
But you think he don't ask for nothing. He is happy to go to work and come home. If the food is in here, as long as the lights stay on, you know, he work and he give his check up freely. Like, here, whatever.
Right.
He ain't nowhere like, oh, here, I'm only gonna hand you this. Is this telling too much of my business?
Mm-mm. No, I mean, it's
I
real.
mean, look, he don't even be really knowing what be on his pay stub. Like, they send his pay stub electronically. He don't even know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he just work and come home.
Right.
If you provide a nice environment for him to come home to, and there's some food he can eat, he can get his snack. Like, that's all he care about.
Right.
Like, men do want to have a stable relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Every man is not out here, and he will tell me this, and he gets on me about this because I be like, oh, you know, these niggas ain't shit. He be like, no, that is not true. All men are not like that.
Exactly. They're not.
And he proves it to me every day, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all men are not like that.
Right.
And like you said, because his parents were a little older.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his oldest sister is the same age as my mother.
Okay, yeah.
So his parents were a little older. So he was raised in an environment where he saw a family work together.
Right.
You know, so we got to stop. Women are the ones, I think, sometimes putting that narrative out there, and we have to stop doing that.
Yeah, I agree.
For us to merge Black love.
Come on,
and I'm not talking about Black love as far as male-female relationship or, you know, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Black love, like, let's just love each other.
Yeah.
Period. As Black people.
Yep. That's for
like,
everybody.
Let me just love you because you're my friend. Let's respect Black men just because.
Yeah.
You know, that's what even being in a relationship is. Sometimes you have to love the person when they don't love themselves.
That's real. That is real.
You do. Sometimes when they are not being that lovable towards you, because they could be going through their own stuff in their head, you still have to love them in spite of. You know, and we miss that camaraderie just through Black people. You know, I ain't talking about being in a relationship. Let's just love each other because we Black.
Right. And I always say, I was like, do you know how powerful we could be with things if we just would work together instead of trying to outdo each other and trying to make it seem like I'm better than you and everything, and I'm, you know, blacker than you or whatever. You know, if we could just get together and just work together and love each other, we could do so much.
Yes, we could.
Girl.
Well, you guys, we back at it.
We back at it. So
we back up in this.
Yes. So that was our first episode of season 2. So we got a little potpourri action in there. You know, that's what we call our little episodes where we just talk about, you know, anything or
Shout
whatever.
out to Alex Trebek.
Yes.
That's a little Jeopardy thing. If you watch Jeopardy, they always have a category, sometimes, not all the time, called potpourri.
Right.
And potpourri is just about everything. It could be anything.
Anything could have came up in that category. Yes.
So, well, you guys, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you so much.
On Black Chats 101.
Yeah. Listen, that's it right there.
I'm just trying.
Listen, that is it right there. Yes. Because we know what it is. Shoot.
Oh, okay. Lord. But you guys have a blessed week.
Yes,
you know,
have a blessed week.
Try to be like me and let's try to curse less. I don't know. I'm trying.
That's all you can do is just try, girl.
Like Tupac said, I ain't a killer, but don't push me.
Right. That's it. Sometimes we got to get our mind off the block. You know, we got to do that. But, you know, it is what it is.
I'm about to have a whole trap concert as soon as we get off.
Listen, while I'm editing, something's going to be in the background playing. You already know that. All right, y'all. Well, y'all have a good week. Stay blessed. And we will see y'all next week. Bye, everybody. Bye.